It's 5:30 in the morning now, and we're gonna have breakfast at 6, and at 6:30 we're gonna hit the water, go into the boat, go up the river, and try to find some animals. Like, not just jaguars, but there's giant otters, birds. Actually got a whole booklet full of all the animals that are supposed to be here. Mammals, capybaras of course, tapirs, porcupines, big cats, cougars, coatis, raccoons, the giant otter, Planetearth brasilensis. So let's see what we can find regarding the wildlife in the Pantanal.
We left at 6:30 to hit the water around 7 a.m. We sailed past some lodges and some boats that are being used as a hotel. Around 30 minutes later, we saw our first wildlife, a family of capybaras. After that, we discovered a group of boats that were looking at a jaguar with a cub.
They're usually this calm.
There is a curve. Do you see the curve?
Yeah. That's why I asked, because they're not more protected.
And they are super used to the people. Sometimes, of course, we disturb them, but most of the time is this way. They hunt, they mating, they sleep, they shoot the curve. Just to get out.
In 2016, the BBC released Planet Earth 2, which had a segment of jaguars that was filmed here in Porto Jofre. The crew spent 2 months filming, and the jaguar segment only lasted for 4 minutes. Since the release of Planet Earth 2, the popularity of the tour skyrocketed.
Você vai trazer ou vai 500?
Pode ser.
Negativo. Mas uma mulher aqui que já vai descendo, já foi no banheiro. Beleza.
Here you can see how many people come to see the jaguars and how big of a business it is. Around 15 boats were lined up to take pictures of the jaguar and her cub.
She likes to eat salad.
Now they grow up with watching the humans, so they understand. That's why they're so calm.
Yeah.
Because how long has this been going on? Like 30 years or something? So their generations already.
This now the generation has every child here. Just
Olha aí, mosquito.
This is where I do it.
Subiu na televisão, hein?
with this guy there, it's possible. It's possible.
I saw that.
Yeah. But our generation was born with the it is the first trip was in 2005.
Okay.
and then it was growing. We're seeing the boat and getting up with the boat. So now every jaguar here around us is used to the boat.
Because how old do they get usually? Like the jaguars?
16 years.
16 or 16?
16.
It's not really old. It's like a dog or something.
Yeah, it's the same. Huh? It's like a lion.
Yeah.
The most of the
Em vez de você ficar à toa, velho, na baixa, ó.
How many cups do they get usually? 1 or 2?
about 2, yeah, but then they can have 4. But a 4 is very hard.
But then it's a good
But
year.
it's about 2.
Yeah. But this is just one.
Just one. Last year she lost 2 because the fire. And then she's old. I think this is gonna be the last cub she's gonna have. She has.
Oh wow.
And she's about 14, 15 years. But then we never know. The nature can.
I was surprised.
Yeah, always. Just coming out. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh, the cub looks like it's coming. The cub is coming.
Light of the draw.
Uma massagem, sentar nele.
To keep going. We had to be a little bit quiet, not to disturb the animals too much, although they're very used to seeing and hearing people. There are up to 500 known jaguar individuals in the Pantanal and Porto Jofre, known by their human names. And if you discover one, if you do the first sighting, then you can name the jaguar. So a lot of people want to be the first one to sight a jaguar and choose the name for that new jaguar. It's now gonna be really exciting because the other jaguar is there with a cub, and they have fought before. The jaguar that was swimming is called Marcella. She's the daughter of the female jaguar with the cub. If I'm not mistaken, the mother is called Madalena. Marcella probably is curious and wants to see the cub, but Madalena won't let her. We now have a little pee stop. We just passed 10, it's 10:30. We saw 4 jaguars, 1 male, 2 female, and 1 little cub, which was also a male. I'm with João, which is the biologist, my two Israeli friends, Ami and Joel, and Gabriel, the boat driver. And now we're going back to the camp, or we're just gonna go up the river a little more.
No, we're gonna go back. But if in the way we spot some jaguars, we stop.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's because it's 10:42, so. It's over there.
Yeah.
Why is their neck so thick? Do they keep fish there?
They are getting food to take to the nest.
So they keep it here.
Yeah, and then this is the place where the first digestion happens.
This jaguar just got a caiman. The caiman is still alive, he's struggling for his death. Jaguars are usually solo hunters. They hunt alone, but recently a very uncommon sight has been seen. Two males who are not related hunt together. Mothers teach their cubs, and that's usually the only moment when jaguars hunt together. And aside from that, there were 1 or 2 cases of siblings, brothers and sisters, that hunt together. But they are related. But since a short while, 2 non-related males are hunting together. And that's a new behavior, even for this region.
Trying to drown them.
She's resting, finishing feeding, and then she's gonna go to the river.
Se dá espaço, eu atravesso. Basically, what's up with you? Basically, what's up with you?
We saw 6 jaguars in total in the morning. When we came back, I had lunch and we had a break of an hour. Then I started to get a headache and I didn't feel well. I was tired, probably sunburned, dehydrated, etc. I decided to take a rest and skip the afternoon tour. I slept a lot and drank a lot. And now a little bit of history about the place. In the 1970s, people came here first. Porto Jofre is called Porto because it started as a small port for fishermen. And from the 1970s on, people came mainly there to do fishing. They spotted jaguars frequently, but everything was still very untamed. More and more fishing was being done. And around the late 90s and early 2000s, ecotourism for jaguars started to grow. That's when the Pantanal Jaguar Camp was created, the lodge where I stayed, and this was around the year 2000. Around 2006 to 2008 it really grew and probably skyrocketed because of BBC's Planet Earth. From then on, things were growing and growing, and the biggest boat I saw had around 20 to 30 Chinese people, complete with their own guide and translator. Weekends are probably the busiest days, and in the dry season, September and October, mosquitoes weren't a problem, but in other months you might want to take repellent. In the afternoon we found one jaguar, but it looked like a group of boat drivers was already with their heads in the weekend, since it was Friday. We stayed at the one jaguar for almost 2 hours while the boat drivers were talking to each other. When we asked to see if we can find some giant otters, we moved out again. We saw a lot of birds, jabirus, macaws, storks, a dead anaconda and a tapir that ran off as soon as he saw us, but no others. Here's some otter footage from one of my fellow group members from the next day when I was gone. That night I decided to go back to Cuiabá. I was still tired and a little sick. Besides, I had to bring back the car the next day. That night I took off. I drove onto the Transpantaneira, and when it was around midnight I stopped somewhere on the side of the road. The next morning I woke up around 7 AM. I drove to an organic honeybee farmer named Chaichiri. I asked if he had some honey for sale, but he sold out the day before. We talked a bit and I had some coffee with him. And the honey farm is very remote, so you can see a lot of animals. Monkeys, birds, and Chaichiri said an occasional jaguar passes by on his farm as well. Then it was time to hit the old dusty trail again and head back to Cuiabá. I wish I could have stayed longer and see those otters, but the jaguars was the main reason I came. It was a unique experience, and especially in the months of September and October, there's an almost 100% guarantee that you will see a wild jaguar in one single day. Multiple days even increases your chances. So, if you're really into jaguars and wildlife, this is a trip to remember. This is it for now. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.